I'm going to basically add flake8 support today to gather. So first, let me show you what I already did. When I run the linter here, I also install ebb-lint. ebb-lint is a plugin for flake8. So it makes flake8 even more strict. And as you can see, I have a lot of issues here. So we will deal with them one by one. Obviously the spacing issues are pretty straightforward. What I like to do is I like to start from the last one, so you see line 43, and this way when I go up I don't change the line numbers. So line 43, and here, and here, and I think that is it. Oops. Yeah, I know I should have probably done all of them at once, but honestly, might as well run it again. So as you can see, ebb-lint really hates static method. I've already cheated and made a little bit of the documentation, so I know what I want to do. And basically the idea is that they believe using static method as a decorator is bad, because it doesn't use a class at all. But they do allow you using it as a non-decorator. So what we'll do here, we'll move this code over here. And we'll do one of equals static method and underscore one of. And we'll remove this. And obviously we will have an underscore here, and I probably need 2 lines. I'm just not used to putting that much white space, which just shows you that I'm not used to having my code be linted, which is bad. And you should definitely not learn from my example. I'm trying to do better, obviously, as you can see here. We'll move the static method here. Static method underscore all. Probably not a great name for that because it's a built-in variable, but I doubt it will be a big issue. And obviously in the global namespace it's gonna be under all. I definitely do not want to export a name. Okay, and we'll put this guy here. Bloop bloop. Exactly 1 equals static method. So basically what I want is to not export those standalone functions. I have a feeling I'm not doing exactly the right thing. I'll probably need to improve the API. And okay, and I want to add an underscore, and here this is not a closing parenthesis. That's good. And if you might remember, I also got warnings about the structure of my my wife is calling, so 1 second, I will have to answer her. Hi sweetheart. Hello. Okay, have fun. Bye. No worries. Love you too. Bye. Bye. Okay, and my wife just told me that she will be later tonight. So we are going to have a lot of writing code tonight. Woohoo, folks. Yeah, so I am sorry for that. But maybe that's best, that's realistic. You sometimes get phone calls when you're trying to write code. This is life. fine. Okay, let's make sure that we have 2 spaces everywhere we need it here. Okay, I think so. Let's see how badly these things look right now. By the way, usually I don't write code with a screen this big. This is purely for the streaming. I usually prefer to keep it a little bit smaller, but this makes it a nice big screen to stream. So I am not gonna go for all the dock strings because that's kind of mechanical. So what I will do is I will first do the blank line. That's also mechanical, to be fair, but less so. Oh, I guess. Yeah. Does it really need that space? I guess. I'm always confused by the rules around here. Let's see if the spacing stuff is done. Linting, there's no way around it. It's gonna be kind of mechanical and not the most interesting, but it is very important because your code has to look nice so people can read it, and mostly it's important because keeping to a rule of strict 0 warnings is the best, and having and being standard bound is the best. Why the hell is this open paren useful? I have no idea. I'm gonna keep it for now. Oh, right. Because I need to break this long URL, unfortunately. And so you see I basically do it with concatenation of 2 strings. And because of that, I needed to put the open parentheses. So, and that's one thing you need to remember, is that often when you see something super weird in code, the person who wrote it was probably not an idiot. They had it there for a reason. If I just removed the open paren right now, I would have gotten an exception for no. Use sphinx.x.napoleon. This sort of rest feels like param. Okay, that's a new one. I was not familiar with that, so let's figure that one out later. Right now, let's make more of my doc strings. I'm not too used to like my doc strings being looked at that strictly, but that's actually good again, because what happens is that this is instead of a human nitpicking, and trust me when I tell you, a human nitpicking these things, I wonder if it's okay with like one-line strings being like that. A human nitpicking is way more annoying than a program nitpicking, and you get less, at least I get less incentive to argue with a program, because I know it's not motivated by like some weird, oh, let's make Moshe's life hard. I know that it's just code, it's running an algorithm, so I don't get an emotional valence. When someone nitpicks, it looks like they're just trying to make themselves look good at my behalf, and that's annoying. I don't know if it's really right, but not being in that position is nice. Right, so basically 2 spaces, okay. Yeah, I should probably have coverage for that, but that's so hard to cover, actually getting into these ways. And not as easy as you might think, so I figured this is a pretty straightforward code. It's not unlikely to kind of be very controversial, so yeah. I don't like marking lines for no coverage, But it is better to mark the lines for no coverage and say 100% coverage. Again, because otherwise... Ooh, I have print here. That is almost certainly not a great idea. Let's look at line 214. Yeah, that should probably be like a output right anyway, and as a new line myself, honestly. I can probably manage to somehow take a new line, and that is also almost certainly better done with somewhat more explicit formatting, so I can't really fault them for doing that. Good. Yeah, ebb-lint is very, very strict. And I guess some of the things might be sort of, again, about being too strict, but being able to find all the print statements automatically is good, because print statements are usually left over. So having something that, again, is very strict is good. And the downside is that you have to put more explicit formatting. The real example problem is like the example main, but I think I'm gonna just switch that to writing. Okay. I'm gonna have to figure out what is Napoleon formatting. So I might have to actually read documentation on that. We'll see. But for now, let's just. That's how I used to do it. So I don't know. Maybe I'm behind the times. I might have to ask people some questions about it, but it's fine. So one of the tricks is to like always do the stuff that you're familiar with first, especially when linting. And obviously I'm using a new tool to lint that I'm not used to. Part of it is like weird motivation. The maintainer of ebb-lint has been talking about using gather. So I figure being familiar with gather is good, and the best way to be familiar with gather with ebb-lint is to use it. So 15, okay. So we'll just do cs.stdout.write, and honestly, that's probably true. We should format it ourselves. And add the new line. This was supposed to be kind of an example script, so again, I don't have like, I don't think that this is like really would have been essential, but the main issue here is that if I do this and I keep lint warnings to 0, then I can run the lint and it will automatically find any accidentally left print statements, which is great. And that is worth it. So, those 5 minutes of work, if they save me a lot of time in the future, totally worth it. It's nice, right? So obviously I did not import sys here, and it found that statically. I would have run the tests anyway and found them. But it's kind of cool, right? That it automatically found the problem itself. Okay, so think X Napoleon. Oh, Napoleon. Wow. Okay then, I'm gonna switch to that because so far ebb-lint has been good to me. But we should probably make sure here. Here. Right, that, and we just do that. So as you can notice, I add commas at the end, so it's very easy to add and remove the last one. It's not special. Extensions. Okay, so hopefully that is enough. I don't know if that's enough. I don't know if I need to do anything else to use extensions, but we will find that out later. We will, check doc generation because we edited it, and that is something that you always wanna look at manually. Okay, so. Name. Let's see if it likes this before I change everything. Yep, okay, so let's switch over the rest. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about removing one completely at some point, but only when I have a good alternative for it, which currently I don't. Okay, let's see how much that did for us. Ooh, nice. Excellent. So we do commit now. Fixed lint. And I like to push. There's no good reason for that, but pushing is a form of backup, and I do not like trusting my laptop hard drive with hard work I did. I guess you can argue whether this is hard work or not, but it was work. We got it through together. It was good. Okay, now we talk the docs. You know, with a project you're familiar with, you usually browser, usually just remember all these things. So I like to put all the output under build / docs. This way there's no like hidden files. I hate dot files in the middle of stuff. You don't find them. Some file browsers don't show them. It's just a bad thing. I think it's a very, very bad default. Okay, so I don't want the overview because I didn't play with the overview. Nice. That looks good. Ah, that looks pretty good. Right, that looks good. Yeah, I like it. Looks fine. Okay, now we know that this is a good thing to do, so we will do that more in the future. And because we changed so much, we want to manually run the unit tests. You notice here we're just running the unit tests for Python 2.7, because I doubt they managed to make a bug that will only hit us on Python 3.x, but my doubt is not as relevant as you might think, because remember when I pushed, the other thing that happens when you push is, hello Travis, it is greening out. So we will go to GitHub and we will go to Moshe's gather. I am gonna move it to an org. I'm just figuring out which org is the right thing. But oh, and Mark was nice enough to already have a gather release. I think he needed some feature from the latest stuff. Let's plus ebb-lint. It sometimes feels a bit strict complying with the linter. So it's good, right? It's all good, but no reason. And there's really only one thing: suggestions. So we will ask Mark. I'll probably poke him via other media to let him know, because often people filter out those emails, and we are done with our part of it. Yeah, it's running again. I'm barely gonna look at it because I'm not really worried, honestly. The PR is fine, like, unless there's some conflicts with the version. So we are done here, folks. And we should probably here we will comment with this fixes. And the nice thing about putting it here is obviously there's a link, so when Mark wonders why I did this, he can see why I did this, and more importantly, there is a backlink on the issue. So when I close the issue, people will be able to automatically see which pull request close the issue. So that's very useful. So today has been more technical, I guess, about the practice of coding, because it's not that interesting to fix a lint checker. So hopefully maybe I also try to give some context for the various things I fixed and why they were good. I should probably upgrade the utters. So, instead of upgrading the utters, I will just open a new issue. Upgrade all dependencies in maybe even it's kind of hard to know what to put inside the PY, because by definition I'm not going to test against everything. So basically the philosophy is, if it's greater or equal to, I'll definitely make an attempt to fix any bugs so it's supported. Actually doing the entire test matrix quickly descends into exponential hell. So yeah, we should probably take care of that at some point, because specifically 17.1 utters as deprecate some stuff, and I want to make sure I'm not doing it accidentally. And if I am, I should probably fix stuff. So that's it. I'm going off streaming. Bye, folks.